Smooth Wellness Services in the studio. Good morning, Dr. Faye.
Good morning, Ayo. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. What do you have for our listeners this Thursday morning?
All right, it's another Thursday morning on Holistic Health Talks with Dr. Faye Shayo, a naturopathic doctor in the studio. So for over a month now, we have been talking on toxic stress. We decided to make the show all about stress, trying to elaborate how stress to let us know that stress is almost at the roots or at the crux of most ailments and diseases. So we have been talking on toxic stress and what's toxic stress and how this affects children, because toxic stress basically talks about ACE, that is adult childhood experiences, those things that children actually pick up as at that little age, and then it lingers to their adults, and it plays out, the reasons why they actually either have one behavioral issue or one ailment or the other. So I have been able to talk on things like how abuse, sexual abuse or any form of abuse, emotional or physical abuse, can actually bring upon stress on children. I've talked on neglect. I've talked on with children witnessing violence at home. We've also talked on discrimination and then constant yelling, how all of these things bring upon stress on children. A lot of times they may not show it completely as children, but it lingers, and these health issues come out the red or ugly head in adulthood, or by the time they start to get to teenage age or early adult. So I really want to round up on toxic stress. I hope I'll be able to round that up today on toxic stress, so we can move on to other ways stress can affect our body. So today, let's talk on how divorce or separation of parents or guides can affect children. Now, when we talk about divorce, it's so rampant out there today. And I am someone who has always talked about, if you want to get married, you want to have children, please let's try and do it right, especially if you want to have children. Marriage is a completely different ball game to dating. So you have to be mentally ready. A lot of times, a lot of people are not mentally ready for parenthood before they get into marriage. A lot of times a lot of people actually go into marriage for the wrong reasons, and then when children come around, it kind of disrupts their life. Sometimes it may not be for the wrong reasons, but you probably married a partner who is not appreciating you, or who is not helping you to live your purpose. So people go through divorce for different reasons. I am not against divorce, because sometimes it's actually the best thing that can happen to some people, because when it comes to violence, or it comes to demeaning you, or not making you want to live your purpose, not making you want to have a fulfilled life, I think it's better to separate, because the truth is we're all human beings and you need to really live your purpose. When you go to the root of everything, honestly, marriage or having children is actually not part of the reason why we are here on earth. So finding your purpose and living it is actually the reason why you're here. So when it comes to divorce, when it comes to children, how does this affect them? Now, before you actually make up your mind, both parties, have you really thought about these children? You have to be sensitive to them. Sometimes, in fact, the children actually see it coming, especially those ones that are old enough to see that mommy and daddy are always quarreling. Before you know it, daddy has slapped mommy. Before you know it, someone has thrown bottle and all of that. So some children are actually expecting that separation, that I think this is the best thing for these people. And sometimes it's the best thing for the children, because you wouldn't want a child to grow up in that kind of environment and then pick up that, at that time, you make their brain to be formed in ways where, okay, I think this is the normal thing to do in the house. You see a boy being violent outside or beating girls, because you always see daddy beating girls, and then mommy makes it seem like, oh, it's okay. But in situations where, as a parent, you try to want to do it right, A parent would not want the child to actually go through this. So separating from such a violent partner, or a partner who is not making you feel like a human being, is, I think, the best. So I would say, why don't you prepare the children? Even the ones who are in preschool, like let's say from age 3, 4, 5, they may not fully understand, but try to make them understand that, okay, this is about to happen. Prepare them in a loving manner. At that time, both mommy and daddy, please, let's put your differences aside and think about the children, because you're actually disrupting their lives. And then also let the school especially their teachers, their direct teachers, be aware that, okay, there's so and so happening in the family, so please be gentle, be sensitive with my child, in case the child starts to bring up one trait or the other. This is what's happening. And for babies, infants, they may not understand what's happening, but when a parent is not available like they used to be, you find out that infants just cry unnecessarily. They cry, they become clingy, and then they start to throw tantrums. They cannot express themselves verbally, but the only way they can do that is that giving you discomfort. That is their own way of passing you the message that I'm missing this person. Daddy and mommy used to be together. All of a sudden, it's only mommy you see around, or it's only daddy you see around. What's happening? Where is that other person? It's just something that cannot be explained. And the older ones that are already going to school, maybe like age 5, you see them, in as much as they want to understand, but they still don't understand why. Okay, let's assume it's a situation where maybe the children are with mommy for 4 days, they're with daddy for 3 days, and so it doesn't make sense to them. It's you're rewiring their brain. You're a whole lot of things are happening inside there, like, what is happening? That's why you see such children, they will start to regress. Like, their way of rebelling, their way of coping is that regression. You find out that maybe a child that has stopped bedwetting starts to bedwet again. A child that has stopped nagging unnecessarily starts to do that again. Some children actually start to suck on their thumb or their belly button. It's their way of going back in, like, I don't understand what's happening. I know this thing has a way of lingering for a while. And then trust the teenagers. The teenagers may even start to blame themselves that, oh, maybe because I'm always rude, maybe because I'm always that is why mommy and daddy are going their separate ways. So and then you find them picking up a whole lot of horrible traits. That's why you find the girls, some girls, probably because they are missing the fatherly figure, you find them that they now become sexually active. Unfortunately, the public is not there all the time to always give you a soft landing. You find a guy who probably knows that, that your daddy is not around. Sometimes some of them are nice, but sometimes some of them see you as vulnerable, and before you know it, they start to get nice to you, before you, not knowing that their main reason for doing that is because they want to have sexual activities with you. So these are things that we should always take note of as parents. So next week I'll actually round up on how divorce and separation can affect children, can bring upon stress upon their lives, affects them in the future. So I'll stop here for today, and I hope I've been able to pass across that it's not as if divorce is a bad thing, but we should do it in a reasonable way. All right, so my contact still remains 0916038184. You can still reach me on 0916038184. My social media contacts handles as YouTube and LinkedIn, Feishayo Sharomi. The Feishayo has an H. Facebook is Feishayo Sharomi. The Shayo does not have an H. Instagram is Smooth Ands. That's SMOOTANDS. And TikTok is Smooth Wellness. I love you all. Stay blessed. We'll meet again next week. Bye.